Hi guys, it's Hannah. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a fun Valentine's Day themed video. I'm very excited. So I have about 8 recommendations here for you guys. These are just feel-good romances that I would pick up if I was like in a bad mood and just want to feel better. So nothing too serious going on in most of these. I think 1 or 2 might have a few more problems or like dark things or themes going on, but all of these have happy endings, happy vibes, and all the things that you want in a romance, especially around Valentine's Day when you're just trying to feel the love. Okay, I wouldn't say these are my favorite romance books. Some of them are definitely 5 stars and up there for me, but I didn't include some of my favorites like Normal People because I think that one's a little more whatever. I just wanted to pick books that I felt like were feel good and were just easy to get through and just sweet. Hopefully I didn't over explain that. I have not taken my medicine today, guys. Little reminder, take your medicine, okay? Okay, let's get into it. So our first book probably has a little more serious topics involved, but it is still such a feel good and a 5-star read for me. And that is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This book was a long time TBR for me and I just never really picked it up. And then I saw it at the bookstore and here we are. I absolutely loved this book last year. I think I read it in like November or December and I was absolutely obsessed. Let me explain what this is about. This follows 2 authors, Ava and Shane, and this is kind of like a second chance kind of vibe, and it's so cute. Ava and Shane are both authors and they knew each other 15 years ago and they had a falling out, and ever since they've been kind of writing to each other in their books, and they don't really see each other until one day. And that's where we start in the book. So it is so good, especially if you are a writer or an avid reader and you just enjoy that world, then this will definitely hit your fancy, touch your fancy. What's the saying? Tickle your fancy? Tickle? Guys, what is that saying? I don't know, but I love this book. Super good. Really testing my memory skills here because I feel like the more romances I read, it's harder for me to remember like the tropes that go on in each book. Like I remember what I loved about the books, but I'm just kind of like, what happened in this one again? Okay, next we also have a book I read last year, which is Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This is a second book in a series, but they're standalones, so you don't technically need to read the first one. The first one is Icebreaker, which was really popular on TikTok, so most people have read that one, but this is the second. I loved this. I think this is another 5-star for me. This was just so sweet. I feel like during the time that I was reading this, I just really needed something that was feel good and just like romantic and adorable. This hit all the spots for me. So this follows, her name's Aurora, right? Yeah. Aurora and Russ, and they are camp counselors at the same little camp that they used to go to. One of them did both of them used to go there? Yeah, but it's super cute, and we get a little bit of Russ in the first book, so I already knew that I liked Russ, and it was just exciting to dive into a book and really love both of the main characters and their stories and how they work out their issues together. It was really good. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have another 5-star, guys. This book was the most surprising read of the year for me last year because I picked it up towards the end of the year and it had been on my TBR for so long. I bought it at a random bookstore in New York City. Not a random bookstore. It was the giant Barnes & Noble in New York City. I picked it up there like 2 years ago, I want to say. It's sat on my shelf ever since then. I just looked at it and was like, because obviously it sits like this, and I was just like, that's a fun title. I like that. Let me read the back. Let me see what I think. I really enjoyed it. So that book is Indigo Isle by T.I. Lowe. I really had not heard anything about this book before I picked it up and read it. I love picking up a book of my own free will, like not because I saw somebody's recommendation and falling in love with it. I love trusting my gut on a book and the synopsis of a book and knowing that I'm gonna like it. So this was just such a happy and surprising read for me. Guys, when I say this book is underrated as fuck, it is. This is so good. Had all of the things that I wanted in a romance. I just absolutely adored both of them. I feel like it is a kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I don't know if that's like the actual, if it was promoted that way, but that's what it felt like. This follows Sunny and Hudson lives on Indigo Isle, which is just a little island off of North Carolina. and it's his own island. He's a little bit secluded. There's not a lot that people know about him, and people kind of call him like the monster of Indigo Isle. And then Sunny is in town for a movie project. I forget exactly what she does. I think she scouts locations for movies and sets and stuff like that. So she is scouting North Carolina and then ends up in Indigo Isle. And that's where we start. So guys, this book is so good. I can't say enough. I read this a few months ago and I already want to pick it back up and read it again now that I'm talking about it. It was just so good. And Hudson is just, I can't. I think we're done with 5 stars. We have 2 more 5 stars. All right, next we have Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. This gained a little bit of popularity around the time when I read it, and for a very good reason. This book is so sweet and so cute, and this follows Winifred, or Win, and Beau. And Beau, as you can see, has a prosthetic leg, and Win has a hand disability, and they meet each other at a costume party, and things evolve from there. Super cute. This one is definitely feel good. Like, there's just so much in here. I don't think there was like a single time where I was upset during this book. Oh my god, I forgot. She gets pregnant after they hook up at the... Guys, I'm so dumb. They hook up at the costume party and then she gets pregnant. So it is a pregnancy trope book. And I was very hesitant after finding that out because I didn't know that at first. And I was like, ugh, I hate pregnancy tropes. But this was so good. So good. So if you don't like pregnancy tropes either, don't be put off because it was still really good. Okay, next we have 2 Anna Hong books, and if you know, you know. Anna Hong has 2 really amazing romance series. The first one is the Twisted series, and that is the first book that we're going to talk about, and that is the second book in the Twisted series, which is Twisted Games. Now, again, all of these are standalones, but I would recommend reading all of them because of the world and just getting to know all of the characters. It's really fun, but this is definitely my favorite out of those first 4 books in the Twisted series. This couple is 100% my favorite, and I'll tell you why. This follows Bridget von Ashburg and Reese, but I'm scared that I'm saying his name wrong because I remember there was like a whole argument about how you pronounce his name. I'm pretty sure it's Reese. It's spelled like that. That's Reese in my opinion, but whatever. So yeah, this follows Bridget and Reese, and Bridget has to take over her family's royalty. She lives in a kingdom. She's a literal princess, and Reese is her bodyguard. Guys, come on, like that had everything for me. This book consumed me at the time of reading this. By far my favorite. I loved Bridget in the first book. I loved every single thing about this book. I don't think I have a single complaint, honestly. Reese is perfect. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, the next Anna Hong book is from the series that comes after Twisted, and it's still in the same world. You see some of the characters in this series, which is called Kings of Sin. Basically, each book follows a 7 deadly sin. The one we're talking about is the first book in the series, and that's King of Wrath. So you can start with this one this time. You don't have to read the Twisted series by any means. However, some of those characters do pop up in here. This follows Vivian and Dante. And this is an arranged marriage situation. The reason I love Anna Hong's books is because her tropes don't feel super overdone and like basic, even though they are pretty common tropes. I don't know how to explain that other than how I just did. Like, she just does it in a way that it doesn't feel generic and repetitive, and I really love that about her books. And all of her characters are just, they feel very real to me. Like, it's very impressive to me that she has a whole world full of so many characters, and none of them have similar personalities, or, you know, and a lot of the men are kind of morally gray and have that situation going on, but they're all so different. Yeah, Dante is definitely top 5 guy for me in Anna Hong's world. I think it is probably Reese and then Dante. Okay, next is the last 5-star in the pile, and this was probably one of the first books that got me into reading like every single day. It just, There's like nothing I can say about my love for this book because I really do feel like it got me back into reading. It inspired me at the time to get back into writing when I was kind of in a slump. So yeah, my sister actually got this for me through Book of the Month. She bought me 3 months worth of Book of the Month. So this was the first one I picked, and that is Abby Jimenez's Part of Your World. If you know me, if you've watched some of my videos, you know I love Abby Jimenez, and I'm trying to get through like all of her books right now. I've read every single one in this series. So we have Part of Your World, Yours Truly, and then Just for the Summer. I was gonna include the other two, but I felt like I've talked about those books before, so I wanted to really emphasize my love for this one because I read this in 2022 before it blew up, and I kind of just picked it off of Book of the Month because it was the only romance and it just sounded really cute. After I read it, I started noticing that people were also talking about it, so I was very, very excited about that. But also the cover, so cute. If you are unfamiliar with Abby Jimenez and this book, this follows Daniel and Alexis, and Daniel lives in a small town. He runs, he's like the guy in town. He has hell or like an Airbnb situation, like an inn. And Alexis is a doctor in a nearby big city, and her car breaks down in Daniel's small town. And that is the start of the story. I just like even the details on the front cover that I didn't even notice until after I read, which you will notice. But this book just feels magical in so many ways. It is magical. This book is magical, and I really want to reread it. And this video is making me realize how many romances I want to reread. But you can tell this is early in my book journey because look at how bad my tabs look. They're just so sticking out. I love when they don't stick out now, so it's just so funny to see it like this. It's just funny. This, if you take any books from this video, please let it be this one because I just really, really, really love this book. Okay, and our last one I will say is probably the first book I bought in like 2021, 2022 before I started reading. And I picked it up because I saw it on TikTok. That was when people were just posting like little quotes from books in like a black screen, like Wattpad style. I was like, oh my god, where can I read this? And everyone was like, you have to buy it. I'm just gonna Amazon order it. Fuck it. I want to hold a book. I haven't held a book in so long. Ignore the cover, ignore the tabs, okay? Like, this is absurd. I think I tabbed every friggin' page. But that is Consider Me by Becca Mack. When did this book come out? Because November 2022. So I definitely read it very recently after that. It was this, and then I bought It Ends With Us and other popular books on TikTok at the time. So I definitely give a lot of my reading journey credit to this book and A Part of Your World. But this follows Carter Beckett, who is an NHL bad boy, super popular, arrogant, blah, blah, blah. You know the vibe. He meets Olivia, who is just your average girl. I can't remember what Olivia does, but I know she was a really likable character, so she definitely had something going on. But can we acknowledge the tiny ass font and how big this book is? Okay, I truly was a trooper for using this as my first book to get back into reading because this is like 450 pages. But then again, it was just like a sexy little romance, so I get it. But this book is really cute. It would have been 5 stars if it weren't for what happened at the end, which isn't a bad thing. I just wasn't my favorite. I can't get over how much these are sticking out. It's gotta be every page. Yeah, but guys, those are all the books that I have to share with you today. I really, really hope that you pick one up before Valentine's Day or after Valentine's Day, whenever you're feeling the love, okay? Remember to spread love every day, not just Valentine's Day. And if you're single this Valentine's Day, celebrate for you, okay? Don't let it get you down because love is everywhere. You can give a Valentine to your best friend. You can give a Valentine to your mom. You can give a Valentine to anybody that you love in your life. So don't let the day discourage you. And if it does make you sad, go pick up one of these books because I promise you won't be sad after you read them. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching this video. Please let me know what you guys want to see because I'm struggling to come up with video ideas. Also, I didn't do a January recap because I read like 3 books. It was a slow month. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.